What's good, y'all? Red Sosa back in the building, and as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen, I am gonna be bringing y'all the playmaking glass cleaner. But honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and consider this build a two-way because how it turns out on the defensive end is honestly gonna be very surprising. So thank y'all so much to everybody who clicked on this video. So before we get into the making, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and hit that like button. That helps me out so much. But also be sure to turn on post notifications and share this banger with your family and friends, y'all. So before we get into the making of this build, you need to make one change. Now, what you want to go ahead and do is go into your settings. Then from there, we're going to go ahead a little bit deeper into the settings. And as you can see right here, we're going to go ahead and change it from the metric and imperial system. You want to go ahead and leave it as is right here under the metric system, and that's going to be completely fine. Now let's go ahead and get into the making. So of course, you want to go ahead and put this build under the power forward position. Now, when it comes down to the pie chart, the one you want to go ahead and pick, honestly, of course, if you thought right, it's going to go ahead and be one that's split right down the middle with the defense, and also it's going to contain the playmaking. Of course, it has to, to go with the build name. Now, when it comes down to the physical profile, a lot of people like to pick the very first one, like I always tell y'all, based off of the speed. That's going to be completely fine. I personally like the fourth one because of the vertical, but I'm going to go ahead and show y'all the one with the fastest speed. So let's go ahead and get right into it. As you can see, when it comes down to the close shot, we're going to go ahead and max that out. Same thing with the driving layup as well as the driving dunk. And we're going to get 7 badges out of it right there and leave it as is. Then when it comes to the shooting, let's go ahead and take a quick look on the mid-range as a three-pointer. We're going to go ahead and max both of these out. And then when it comes to the free throw, put this to a 79 with a post fade of 35 for 6 badges. Now, when it comes to the playmaking, we're going to go ahead and max out our pass accuracy and ball handle. Then when it comes to the post moves, depending on how many badges you want to go with, I'm going to go with 70 for the post moves, and that's going to give us 18 playmaking badges. And now we have the rest of the attributes just to use primarily for the defense. So as you can see right here with the interior, we're going to go with a 75. Then when it comes to the perimeter, this is a 63 as well with a lateral quickness of 68. Then when it comes to the block, offensive rebound, as well as the defensive, we're going to max all 3 of these out, and that's going to give us 21 badges. And as you can see, this is not a bad setup for this kind of build being super rare. Now, when it comes to the body shape, of course, you want to go with Burley. Now, right here, when it comes to the height, what you want to go with is going to be 2.03 meters. That is going to be perfect for this build. And then when it comes to the weight, so as you can see, it's a little bit different. We are going to be going with kilograms for this build. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. 86 kilograms looks really good, honestly, especially with our vertical not being too low. But if you go with anything lower, like 83, 84, or even 85, the speed is actually a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that option up to y'all. And as you can see, when it comes down to the wingspan, we are going with centimeters. So right here, as you can see, 228 is going to be really nice, especially when it comes down to it, with being that most of these lockdown builds are always having that max wingspan. So that is definitely going to help out with this build. So if you end up going with it, let's go ahead and check out the takeovers. As you can see, we get the glass cleaning, also going to be getting the playmaking. So let's go ahead and check it out when it comes to the build. And as you can see, we get the post playmaker if you go with the max wingspan. So let me go ahead and take it back one step. So as you can see, if you go with 223 for the centimeters, go ahead and pick any of these takeovers, we actually end up getting the playmaking glass cleaner. Still, honestly, I'm going to go ahead and consider this a two-way build, especially how it looks on the defensive end. And those badges definitely going to make this build super rare. Now, if you want to go ahead and make a couple more of additional changes on this build, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all right now, there's actually a second version that I'm going to go ahead and put y'all on with. So if you're going to go ahead and stick around, just go ahead and comment down RGF right now to let me know that y'all made it this far. I would truly appreciate that. So let's go ahead and check out the pie chart right here. When it comes to the physicals, this one is going to have a 72 speed, 70 acceleration, 78 vertical. I'm telling you, the vertical on this build is definitely going to be going crazy compared to that first version. We had around a 72, low 70s, and this one is going to be much, much better. So when it comes down to the badge upgrades on this build, the same exact thing across the board. We are not lacking anything, so if you are worried about that, do not worry about it, because the stats and everything else that goes into this build is going to be the exact same thing. The only big change here is going to be the physicals. So as you can see, when it comes to the height, we are going to be going with the same exact thing. You are not going to have to worry about a change happening. The only thing different here is honestly going to be the physicals when it comes to the speed, acceleration, and vertical. But look at the difference already for the vertical, y'all. Much more balanced in my opinion with that 83 speed, 80 acceleration, and then the 83 vertical. And one thing here, we are making a minor change on the wingspan. So instead of going with 223, we're actually going to be going with 226. And as you can see, we get the glass cleaning, playmaking, slashing, and rim protector takeover. And I'm going to go with the defensive one. And as y'all can see, we have made the playmaking glass cleaner a second version brought to y'all. So let's go ahead and check out what this build is going to be looking like once we get it to 99 overall. I'm telling you, either version of this build is definitely going to be worth grinding out, so you are definitely going to want to stick around to see these stats. So as you can see, when it comes to this build and this version for the physicals, we're getting a +8 to our speed, so that's going to be a 91. Acceleration is going to be an 88, and we're also going to be getting a 91 vertical. Now, we're going to be getting those pro contact dunks with that driving dunk of 84. Driving layup's going to be in the 80s, so that means new layup packages. And then we're going to have a 90 close shot, which is honestly going to be very good for your post game. Then when it comes to the mid-range, that's going to be in the 70s, especially with boost that can be in the high 70s. Mid-range shot and the three-pointer are going to be very versatile in this build, especially for being a big. Three-point shot, running with teammates as well as boost. And if you have someone that's running floor general, your three-point shot is easily going to be able to hit the 70s. Free throw can hit the 90s. Then when it comes down to the defense, this is honestly going to be very nice. These are stats that are going to be hitting the 80s, especially if you end up buying boosts, grinding this build out, and running with teammates that are going to be running defensive leader. And on top of all that, the playmaking on this build is not bad at all. Let's go ahead and get into the badge count now. So let's go ahead and start off with the shooting. I'm going to go with Hot Zone Hunter on gold. Another badge that I really like is going to be catch and shoot as well as corner specialist. So if you want to, you can definitely change up the badge count. You could even throw on gold range extender if you really want to, and take off Hot Zone Hunter. It really comes down to what you want to do. You could even go with catch and shoot as well as corner specialist, both on gold. Now if you want to go ahead and change it up, I'm telling you right now, I would highly recommend keep it on Hot Zone Hunter at least, just to be safe. Now let's go ahead and get into the finishing. We got 7 badges to work with, so there are 2 key badges that I primarily like to run on any build I can get them, and that's going to be contact finisher as well as honestly Lob City finisher, at least on bronze. If you don't want to do that, at least I would go with the relentless finisher. That is a badge that I really like to use on any build that can get it. Now from here, Showtime is going to be a really nice badge to put on if you are trying to help out your teammates. But if not, I feel like you could really spread the wealth here. If you want to go that route, I tend to like to use bronze badges because I know for a fact that they unlock certain animations. So that's why I do it. If you want to, go ahead and test it out as well and see if it works for you. Now let's go ahead and get into that playmaking. 18 badges to work with. That is not bad at all. So the first one that I would highly consider for this build is honestly going to be handles for days on Hall of Fame. Now from here, if you want to, you could go with 2 bronze badges or 1 silver. If not, I'm going to go with floor general from here on Hall of Fame as well. And if you want to go ahead and put on another one that's going to help you out, put on quick first step. Now breaking ankles is honestly hard to come by sometimes in this game, but a badge that makes it so much easier is going to be Space Creator. So go ahead and consider that for this build. From there, I'm going to go with bronze bailout as well as unpluckable. And then the last one, you could go with dimer or downhill. These are going to be 2 main badges that I really like to run. I feel like they are really nice, but if you want want to break ankles, like I said, go with Space Creator. Now let's go ahead and get into the defense. 21 badges to work with, so let's go ahead and get right into it. The first one you want to go ahead and put on is going to be Intimidator as well as Rebound Chaser. Now we have 13 remaining badges to go with, so I'm going to go ahead and put on Clamps as well as either Bronze, Interceptor, or Chase Down Artist. You could put both of these on if you want to, but that means you cannot get 2 more Hall of Fame badges. And that is something that I highly recommend doing. So let's go with Defensive Leader for the second one if you are looking to help out your teammates. That is going to be a key badge for this build. And the last one is going to be Rim Protector. That's a setup we're going to be going with 7, 6, 18, and 21. Thank y'all so much to everybody who made it all the way through. Go ahead and comment down in the comments RGF if y'all made it. But man, I just want to say I truly appreciate y'all for everyone showing your love as well as your support. Just know I got another banger dropping for y'all tomorrow. So man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. To the Rich Gang family and any new supporters, I would appreciate if y'all went ahead and hit that like button. But also, go ahead and turn on post notifications so y'all do not miss an upload, because I'm uploading every single day. Man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.